This information you're about to hear is totally the thought and ideas of Gary C.Clement and the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast. We are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with the parties this story is about or was interviewed for. Parts of this content is not owned or the property of the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast, and this information is strictly our opinion. This content is for information purposes only. Please enjoy the information. Welcome to the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast. And like everyone, we are very saddened by the death of Tyree Nichols and this beating where these 5 officers beat him without remorse, with no explanation or any proper procedure. Just what did this man do to deserve this kind of punishment? For sure, the situation has brought the city of Memphis, Tennessee, and the black community around the nation to their knees. No man should have to endure this kind of pain, this kind of anger and hatred. These officers treated him less than human, and they have yet to supply any evidence that there was a legit reason why they even stopped him at all. After reviewing so much footage and looking for different angles to even justify any of this, they can't find a single reason, and it just leaves me speechless. This mess is not over. This mess is long from being over, and for sure, Chief Davis must resign. I had an opportunity a few days ago to watch a few interviews on YouTube with the famous television personality and Judge Joe Brown, who is running for mayor right now, and despite him to get a few mentions in major media outlets, he's appearing to be winning. Anyway, he's a resident of Memphis, Tennessee, and in running for mayor, he currently has a lot to say. He too says this is a very sensitive situation and that no one has answers for it at all. But he did have some ideas and theories of his own. Please, when you get an opportunity, go check out YouTube and search him and educate yourself. But what if the officers would have been white men? Would this unit have been shut down so fast? The officers to be fired so fast? In the past, many situations like this have taken years to resolve. Months, perhaps, but years to actually get anyone into custody, police, anybody involved in it. And this case is very significant because to date, after almost a month, there are 7 or 8 people that have been basically fired, jailed, and facing charges. So there's something going on here. Why did this dismantling of the police unit happen so fast? So this is just not a black problem with white men beating black men, but now a blue problem with police training and how black and brown men and women are treated and tested in our society and in our communities. We are all human beings and deserve respect regardless of how much money we have, where we live, or who we know. And the 5 black officers to beat a black man senseless and acted so violently that the police chief, the mayor, and the prosecutor of Memphis said, okay, it's time to shut this down. There's definitely something going on. So really, what's happening, people? What are we missing here? And how do we get past this situation? As you think about these questions, CBS News aired a press conference with Attorney Ben Crump, the NAACP, and other organizations in the Memphis area, along with the family of Tyree Nichols. So let's listen in.
Ms. Wells, I was in tears all morning because of what is going on in this city, because of what happened to Tyree Nichols. Ms. Wells, I want to say thank you for birthing Tyree, because he is the individual that is going to turn this city around. And as Attorney Crump said, Memphis is the blueprint for what is going to happen across the country. Thank you so much. Ms. Wells, we are here for you. As a mother, I am here. And I promise to do what I said that I'm going to do, and that is to make Tyree Nichols a law in this city. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Executive Director. They wanted first-degree murder. They were not bashful about that. And when you see the video tonight, you will understand that if this was your child, you would want first-degree murder too. But they are respectful and accepting of those charges that the district attorney brought, and they will thank them in their own way. Now you will hear from Tyree's daddy. He's his stepfather, but as his mom and his brothers and sisters said, that's his daddy. Let's give a big round of applause for the man standing strong for his family, Mr. Rodney Wells.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I just wanted to say that, as Mr. Crump just stated, I did push for murder one from the beginning. That was my main goal. But as the charges were told to us and they explained to us what the difference between murder one and murder two was, we're very satisfied with the charges. More importantly, we want peace. We do not want any type of uproar. We do not want any type of disturbance. We want peaceful protests. That's what the family wants. That's what the community wants. They're all I got a text today from one of my supervisors about an alert telling her don't be in the crowds tonight. We shouldn't have that. We need to do this peacefully. The family is very satisfied with the process, with the police chief, the DA. They acted very, very quickly in this case. We are very, very pleased with that.
Yes.
Other cases drag on, but this is a special case. We had a special son. That prompted the quickness of this results. So, as of the Tyree Nichols family, please, please protest, but protest safely. Thank you.
And so that was some of the press conference held with CBS News a few days ago with Attorney Benjamin Crump and members of the NAACP, the chapter of Memphis, Tennessee, as well as Reverend Al Sharpton and his push connections, as well as just multiple civil rights attorneys and organizations or whatnot around that city. So we're looking to hear your thoughts about this situation. We want to know how you feel. We want to know how this affects your life and the young people whom are part of your household and your community. Yes, and so we're back again talking about the Tyree Nichols situation in Memphis, Tennessee. And on with us today, we have Mr. Ron Dove out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. How are you, Mr. Dove?
Yes, fine. How are you?
Okay. And just tell us your thoughts about this Tyree Nichols situation. How do you feel about this situation, please?
Well, you know, it's the story of American racism. It hasn't ended. I mean, this is continually moving forward with the attitude of the country. I mean, as far as how they treat black men, and the police has been notorious for being brutal to black men. And if they don't change their policing policies, it's going to continue. But the sad thing about this situation is you have 5 black police officers who beat and killed another black man. Now, just like Al Sharpton was saying, you got a nerve to do this in the same place where Martin Luther King was shot in the balcony in Tennessee, and looking for a brighter day. And years later now, you have these 5 black police officers who seemingly haven't learned anything as far as our progress, killing another black man. And it's based on the way police have been operating in the United States for years. They feel that they have license to do the things that they do. I think it's really, really sad, but it's so sad. It's even sadder when you have your own black people perpetuating this situation when they should know better.
Mm-hmm. Right, I understand. Yeah, and so there's no motive yet. We don't know exactly how all of this took place. It was said to be a traffic stop, but it appears to be something much deeper than that. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it seemed like it happened in the moment. These guys got caught up. They weren't thinking, and this young man was crying for his mama, was calling out for his mom. He said, "What did I do?" He wanted to know, what did he do? And these guys proceeded like they were robots or something, like they couldn't hear his voice, like they were insensitive to this man's feelings. And they carried on viciously, 5 against a guy that's only 150 pounds. It shows that we have a lot of people who are African Americans who really need to get their thoughts together and probably go back and read some history of how this country came about. Because when you have your own people doing these type of things, it just hurts.
Right, I understand. Right. Actually, and I have been thinking about it too. I would like to see a urine test or a drug test done on the officers who committed this, because there's something that drove them to this. There's a motive somewhere, things that we don't see just yet, but there's something that's waiting to just hit all of us at one time. And so I think giving them actual urine or drug testing would really create some answers for us too.
Well, that's a good point. These guys are riding around. I mean, it would be sad to even suggest that they might have been smoking pot or something like that, or it's hard to think that they would be doing something that would kind of slow their senses. Any type of drugs or drinking or whatever. I mean, it's really hard to even think like that, but it's a possibility, but you have 5 guys. You mean to tell me you didn't have one guy who could say, no, I'm not doing this. This is not right. I mean, the mentality of these guys seem to indicate to me that they just didn't care, number one, and probably are not educated to the struggle that black people are going through right now, and have gone through. I mean, they seem to be ignorant in their mind about how to proceed on their job when it comes to black folks.
Right. Okay, Mr. Dove. Thank you for your time, and we're going to move on here. And now we get ready to listen to an interview with with attorney Benjamin Crump and Tyree Nichols' mother.
Miss Rovon Wells will now address you. Give her a big round of applause.
Hello. Thank you all for coming and showing support for my family and my son. I really appreciate everything everyone is doing. My son is looking down, smiling, because, it's funny. He always said he was going to be famous one day. I didn't know this is how he was going to, this is what he meant, but if... I really don't know what else to say right now. I've said so many things in the last few days, and really, I want to say, I've never seen the video, but what I've heard is very horrific, very horrific. And any of you who have children, please don't let them see it. I just want to ask for prayer for my family, this whole community. And I want to say to the 5 police officers that murdered my son, you also disgraced your own families. But you know what? I'm going to pray for you and your families, because at the end of the day, this shouldn't have happened.
No, that's right.
This just shouldn't have happened. And we want justice for my son. Justice for my son.
Justice for Tyree.
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 Today, we are praying for the Tyree Nichols family and friends in that community, that the situation creates a way forward that allows us all to grow. As we know, there's new information being released every day, several times a day, and it's appreciated to see people such as Attorney Ben Crump, Reverend Al Sharpton and his Action Network, the NAACP and the Black Lives Matter movement, and other organizations move forward to continue fighting for our rights as black people. So there you have it, folks. Again, this was our way of addressing the Tyree Nichols murder in Memphis, Tennessee, and what the situation brings to our communities and our lives. These sound bites are the property of CBS News, and we do not own them. However, we have included our opinions, and we appreciate Mr. Ron Dove of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for speaking out today. For all of you interested in learning more about the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast, please visit www.amazon.com and order my book, The Gary Clement Radio Show, When Strong Afro-American Men and Women Stand Up. It covers everything about us and features a variety of Afro-American personalities who speak out about the importance of education and literacy in the black community. Well, we thank you for tuning into our podcast. Please send us your email address so we can contact you when we do new releases and new episodes, as well as projects, to gccpresents@yahoo.com. And also, if you're interested in submitting any materials or want to get in touch with us, please do so by simply sending an email to gccpresents@yahoo.com. That's G as in Gary, C as in Charlie, presents@yahoo.com. So until next time, do take care. And this is a G-Tube Network Media production.